Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. This is officially Devlog 1. And yeah, I'm excited. So, I do have an outline. Did I write it? Hell no. Of course not. I'm using ChatGPT. But it's kind of so I don't get sidetracked. So, to start things off, I am Hugo. Case in point, my channel's name. Um, I did make this a devlog, and unlike the other videos on YouTube, which are already edited and they're super deep into their journey, I'm basically fresh. Um, Hell, I'll start off with what I did today. So, went on YouTube, looked for the easiest tutorial, right? Because I personally, it's kind of boring to like sit there and essentially be told what to do and learn. I'm kind of like, yo, get me in there, let me just make stuff and be in the flow state. But it is what it is, it's part of being a beginner. So, yeah, what I was saying before was that I went ahead and looked for the easiest tutorial. By easiest, I mean the shortest. So I can't shout them out because this is on the spot and I'm just trying to get this done. It was a Flappy Bird tutorial. It was like 10 minutes long, and I said, let's go do that, you know? Did he explain stuff? No, but I just followed along, and that's all that matters. Anyways, yes, I'm fresh on my journey, very fresh. This is why I'm using the in person vlog. And yeah, a lot of them are super deep into their journey, and you know, I guess part of the reason why I even want to do this, sorry if I'm really all over the place, never done this before, is I realize I'm really a creative at heart, and I gotta just do what I need to do. I have to try and fight to start things off. Part of the reasons why I didn't even want to make anything is behind in the back of my head, there's always the feeling of, can I do it? Am I able to do it? And when I do get motivation, I start consuming content. And the more content I consume, I start thinking, man, they've made everything. This shit is saturated, you know? And then, and there's always, I think, first of all, the person watching this, even if there is probably just a lot like me, consumes content, thought about it, has not really taken any action, and or is already making games, right? So, part of the consuming content is also the videos that are like fear mongering and saying, the realities of being a game developer or how much my thing made. And it's very sometimes very underwhelming, right? Because guess what? Like, listen, this is America. I'm American, right? So I live in America. Consumerism, money, and a lot of people, I guess this is not for just a game developer, but just anybody who's trying to do anything, is that, you know, the truth is sometimes your passion in life is not your job. You know what I mean? And that's okay. We're doing this for the love of this. We're doing this just because I want to, and I want to put things out. But this brings me to my next point. Part of the reason why I'm making this video is that yes, things are saturated. There's all these different types of games, but there's only one of us and one of each of us. And what I'm trying to get at is that we do have social media, we do have phones in our pockets, and this, a lot of some of the developers that are successful is because they've made devlogs, they've built a community, they have an audience. Because at the end of the day, truthfully speaking, people generally like to go towards things that are already established and proven. I think most people just want to be served stuff. I mean, even if they're not like that, as if you consume short form content, the videos are being served to you, and you decide whether you or not you want to continue watching. YouTube, you kind of click on a video and then you decide if you want to watch that video or you want to watch something else. Short form, it's kind of given to you. Like there's no searching, you're just being given it. So yeah. So anyways, because it's really tough, I think one of the things a lot of people mentioned is just no one buying it, So this makes things a lot easier. So personally for me, I don't actually have a dream game. I just like making stuff. So despite my account's name, I this is just my developer journey in general because I want to make stuff. I want to make a living making stuff. And it doesn't matter if it's only temporary or even a small amount of people. I just want to make stuff. That's as simple as that. Hell, I want to start a clothing brand. Plug my clothing brand. I'll grow that too. But I kind of realized that, need a voice and I would love to start a community. Anyways, I've been chatting, but that's kind of the point of the video. Get to know me. So, what's my mission? The mission clearly define the projects you're tackling. So, currently, these are what I was working on. I'm building I don't know if you know, but it was like the whole underground music scene or whatever. Um, so so what I wanted to do is I definitely see music competitively. That's also one of my hobbies, and I'm building a blog to essentially create a leaderboard and hopefully have a community there. Why? Just because I want it to exist, and I think that sounds cool. It's no name yet, but I will showcase it eventually. The other thing is, as I said, I started a Flappy Bird clone, which was like 10 minutes long, but the first official tutorial I'm starting is the Potato clone because that should lay down the foundation for whatever game I do want to build, which is what really motivated me is I really enjoyed Vampire Survivors. So, and Potato. So that's what we're starting off with. It's going to lay down a foundation. I'll figure out what assets to do. If I get people, I don't know when that time is going to come, but when that time does come, I will love it if we can build the game together. I might do it through short form videos. I might do it through long form. But I will ask, even if it's one, two, three, four of you, I will, because I'm not building no assets by myself. I'm just gonna buy an asset pack. I'll present a couple choices, and if anyone does watch, shout out to them. We'll build that when it comes. But for now, it's kind of solo dolo. The other thing I started to do is I started to build this app to it's like it's a habit tracker, but the thing I like about it is that I need something more for me, right? This is why I said it's gonna help. I just want to make stuff and put stuff out there. I don't know about charging. I don't really understand how to make money off this, but basically, if I like to I want to keep track of my vibrations or like my vibes, if you want to call it that. So basically, if I'm feeling kind of low vibes, it's like that, and the atoms don't move, because that's how atoms vibrate. But then if I'm feeling super high vibes, there's some movement. I mean, 35% isn't the high, but there's movement. But then blue. Oh, I also made it change color to like match chakras. Like high vibration. So yeah. Yeah, so then if you're really vibing, it's like super fast. Calendar, I know this gotta get better, but yeah, calendar, it's gonna basically heat map, or this is just placeholder, but chakra or vibration match. So it's gonna take the average. So if in case I want to use this throughout the day, because sometimes we are feeling super low in the morning, and then we end the day vibing high, and then the next day, if we think about yesterday, I don't know, since we ended the day, and okay, this is how I am. If I ended the day on a high note, I'm probably gonna assume I had a good day, because that's like the last thing I remember from the day. So it's gonna take the average, and it's gonna help me be more self-aware in terms of like my vibes. Um, yeah. Hell, since this is also work in progress, if someone wants to be part of the community, um, you will help me pick out UI, or I don't know, who knows, bro. Anyways, yeah. So that was a project. I'm checking my thing because my computer has low storage. Apple. Um, Constraints. So my constraints are no budget, no experience, and ADHD. But it's okay. What's my dream outcome? Man, success for me would not even be a successful game. I listen, to me, a successful life is I make videos like this and then I show you what I made. Like if I can pick up painting and make like some change making paintings, or I get bored and I want to start a collectible card game and I make a couple decks and people buy that, that would be fire. Clothing brand, yeah, I have a logo. AlsoBlime.com. Keep in mind, I did not check if anyone could check out, but yeah, I would love that. I would love to make belts. I think belts are cool. I would sneakers, whatever, man. I go on Alibaba and I will design, not handcrafted though. If we really get some motion going, and we really have the funds, yeah, handcrafted, sell that shit to my fans, like a lot of like collectibles, you know. So that would be ideal. If I could say what it would be a dream, it would be like, I can just make random shit. Like if I want to make a limited edition amount of yo-yos, because essentially, like, okay, to me creativity is just expressing your essence, your DNA, your uniqueness. um, it's just challenging because you kind of have to unlock your taste, right? But everyone has taste. It's just being able to recognize your taste more and more, and then you just start expressing your taste everywhere. So yeah, that's what I would love to do. Just make a lot of shit and make some change, because a 9 to 5 job is not the most entertaining thing. Hell, I guess also motivation. Right now, I'm working part time, right? And it's good and all just because it's at a museum, but I kind of want to just take maybe till the end of the year, maybe a few months, to just really lay down my foundation in terms of life. And then I want to make shit. Listen, I'm gonna build this community. That's my intention. And then I want to make whatever. If I could make snacks, that'd be cool. If I want to just focus on painting, that is cool. Whatever, and share it with the world. But also fund those habits, because the job is gonna come eventually. I ain't stressing that. So I already shared my current state. What was today's work, man? It was just, honestly, today's work was just getting things going. Damn, a gig for this video already, crazy. Um, let's see. Hmm. Relatable struggle. Ha ha ha. Honestly, man, procrastination and action. Part of the reason why listen, there's no way in hell I am going to edit a video. That's too much. I would love to, too much. I cannot manage all of that. Because besides this, I love making music and shit like that. And hell, you know what? There's another thing. So I've kind of been trying to, as weird as it sounds, optimize my life, but I'm kind of one of those people that kind of wants to just keep doing shit. So maybe the other thing I will share is I'm really the only MOBA I really like is probably Thingy of Valor and Mobile Legends, and I'm gonna grind that shit out and I will share it with the world. Why? Because why not? So yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of all I have to share. Let's see. Future tease, man. I got nothing to share in the future. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about tomorrow, but yeah, that's kind of it. If you do make it, I know. Listen. This is not my first time posting on YouTube and stuff like that. I've done that. It's just so disheartening, but at this point, I don't care. I've kind of, as weird as it sounds, I kind of feel like in a way I snapped, as in like I just don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if no one watches. It doesn't matter if we're not successful. I'd rather keep doing this because it gives me a nice sense of peace, and that's kind of why I'm doing it. I enjoy it, brings me joy, And worst case scenario, I use this as a an accountability tool, because guess what? I can make videos like this with my phone too. Anyways, enough about me. Um, and I guess to end things off, hey, are you working on anything? Are you doing anything? You know, what's up? Um, Let me know what you're working on, or what you want to do, or if you also struggle with procrastination, if you actually make it to the end of this, because I know, I might be a little boring and it does take time, but fuck it. Yeah, but definitely leave a comment. Let me know what games you're working on, what projects you're working on, and when the time comes, right? And I open up OBS and I screen record just to show off my current, Godot project, or I'll show off the blog I'm working on, right? Because I'm making the blog for myself. So so right now I'm just trying to get my shit going. Listen, you know, I realize that if you want to make money, you kind of have to spend money. And right now I'm trying to get my some movement going, so that once there is a job going on, we can maintain both. So yeah, I will show off the comments and stuff like that when I do get the chance to show, or if I'm in the mood, because we just posting this is a pain in the ass. But it is what it is. We just gotta, what's the word? We just gotta build a habit, which takes around 66 days. Can you listen? This I do not care if I make it to 66 days posting 66 episodes and no one still watches. It's okay. At this point, it is a diary, and my kids will watch this, and it would be part of the internet history. Fuck it though. It is what it is. Devlog done. I showed you what I made. Um, this is the ChatGPT thing is gonna be part of the process though. So, oh yeah, so yeah, that is all. Oh yeah. So also in regards to this, yeah, I know that people don't like vibe coding and stuff like that, but um, I think you know it's kind of like if you read studies on you know AI and ChatGPT making people dumber, um, and then you apply it at coding. I think it depends on how you use it, because for me, I do not like I can totally understand that some people just take what ChatGPT does and copy and paste, but I cannot. I cannot do that. I just take what I take from it and just optimize and just enhance whatever I have. The thing with ChatGPT, I tried the vibe coding stuff like that, and it's pretty much a lot of it is really bullshit. Um, and at least for me, it was kind of a process to really get the right workflow. I mean, especially with ChatGPT 5, man. The ChatGPT 5 was kind of like I wasn't hating on it, but you can't talk to GPT 5 like GPT 4. I had to actually learn new vocabularies just because it's so fucking like and it does not listen, man. I could ask it for one thing and it does what it wants, and I have to continue. I've been really getting deeper into the prompting and whatever, but yeah, but I kind of realized, like, for me, um, because like I said, I don't really like tutorials. So what I started to do was um to a lot, because remember, like, if I'm following a tutorial, I'm kind of just typing along anyways, right? That's how tutorials work. I'm just typing along. I'd rather use ChatGPT and figure my shit out. So what I've been doing is just asking it to always provide documents, because it's sometimes it gives me outdated information. Learning and using the npm or xp is so like to me, but we're getting adjusted to that. But yeah, for me, I found out that I have to have it. It likes to do things in a strange workflow for me because I'm not experienced. But it might, make a button, add functionality, or make a button and then add a database or no, okay, I'm exaggerating there, but it would intertwine in functionality with UI and stuff like that. And to me, that was not making any sense to me. So using it for UI only has kind of like worked best for me, And then I read through it, understand what's going on, and then from there I say, okay, time to add functionality. That's been helping me. That's the best thing I worked for. Because the thing is, as crazy as it sounds, the only like I said, I am this devlog one, right? Am I a programmer? No. I said I don't want to. I want to learn, yes, but following tutorials is boring. It is so boring. I'd rather just attack it and be stressed on my own. So, anyways, yes, This is also my developer journey. I'm also developing. I'm learning. So I've been at it. I've been at ChatGPT, trying to code with it. I'll watch tutorials, get bored, be inconsistent. So I've been using ChatGPT to kind of like, because there's too much shit I don't know. There's too much jargon, right? So much jargon, so much words and verbiage. Yes, I read through. Yes, I can know stuff. But man, the jargon shit was so annoying. And I kind of so yeah, like it would provide code and I would follow along, but then I was not following along. So um yeah, I kind of realized like for me to actually learn properly, it's start with UI and make sure it's only UI, because I was following along and I didn't even know what I was following along to. I didn't even know what was happening. Like I had to do so many attempts that the workflow started to click for me, and then I started to understand what I was doing. Hell, because I would constantly build projects. Okay, so I learned about Git control systems recently, right? So I would build stuff, and then something will break. Like with the vibe coding, the one thing I realized with the vibe coding, it's great for like the foundation. Other than that, you have to be very like. The only way I can see it like being useful is being very narrow with the scope of the code, because if I sometimes I've listen, I've made too many attempts trying to make something's kind of happening, and then irre- irreversibly, So you kind of have to like direct it, but hey, all these attempts kind of help me understand the workflow. But yeah, man, it's crazy. As weird as it sounds, listen, I don't know too much about code, but as long as I get to make stuff, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But yeah, this video's gone long enough. It's about 2 gigs on my system, and it's gonna take forever to upload. But fuck it. Bye bye. Oh, oops, embarrassing.